What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to take a look at what I would probably say is one of the funniest builds I've seen in Forza Horizon 5 so far. Now, the first thing I do want to mention here, though, is I did end up finding this build on Instagram. I was scrolling a bit. This video did end up popping up. I was laughing so dang hard seeing how this car was performing. I had to find the share code, which he did end up putting in a pinned comment. I put this thing in, and my goodness, this car is absolutely hilarious. With that being said, though, I do want to mention here, if you guys have any funny share code or builds, do put them in the comments below. I'm planning to maybe do like a weekly video or more community type of videos going over some highlighted share code builds and stuff like that here in Forza Horizon 5. So do put those in the comments. I am interested. They could be funny builds, really good ones, basically all around for that matter. Now, first things first, though, you're probably wondering about the build on this vehicle. So all you guys will have to do, well, I guess the easiest way to do that is to show this. This is what you guys are going to want to look for. It's going to be Tezo Firm. I think that's how you say that. This is going to be the build I did end up using. And with that, I would probably say people are like, yo, well, there's probably other builds with the same thing, which is probably going to be fairly true. Guys, looking at this, you can tell that, yo, the launch on this is going to be 10. That one's 10. The handling's better. The acceleration's 10. So there's probably going to be some familiar builds in this one. The thing is, though, I would definitely recommend trying this one out because drag racing this car, guys, I will show you in a second, and also a clip I did end up having with this thing. It is hilarious. It is so dang fast. The car basically hops and stuff. But do check this dude out. He seems to have a lot of great builds and stuff like that. Again, this is something I kind of want to do in future videos, going over different builds and stuff, highlighting them, and showing people what these people really are creating. I think it's pretty dope. With that being said, though, you also might be wondering exactly which car this is. Well, it is going to be the Nissan Tsuru. I think that's how you say that. Yes, this thing is rare. I think it's going to sell for around $20 million in the auction house. I have seen a good amount of them, but yeah, if you guys are looking for this vehicle to do this, that is probably going to be one of the only issues. But 1,300 horsepower, 1,000 pounds of torque in a car that weighs 2,000 pounds, bro. Does that make any sense? I don't think so. Displacement 7.5 liters. So yeah, this thing is honestly a bit insane. Without further ado, though, let me head over to the drag strip with this thing and talk about this car a tad more. Okay, so spawning outside here with the Nissan Tsuru. Now, you're probably going to take a first glance at this vehicle, and yes, I'm going to have a taxi livery on it. Some people are probably going to have like a rusty build or some weird-looking livery, but I figured let's add a taxi thing to it. Kind of is funny because it reminded me of the movie, but nonetheless, though, this car is going to be hilarious, man. So, barely touching the gas on this car, hitting R2. Now, I am running TC, guys. Look at the acceleration, bro. 120 miles an hour in first gear, man. Like, what even is this? This is another reason why I love Forza Horizon. Similar to that truck video I did, this is probably going to be another reason, man. What other game can you do builds like this in and just mess around with stuff? But no, here. Let me do a launch here, guys. I'll go right to the other side of the track here. So holding circle down, going to do a launch here. Let's do it. Oh my goodness, look at that. It is so insane, bro. Now, yes, there's probably going to be cars that can easily beat this thing. For example, the Mustang Dark Horse, the 24 Mustang, the Pro Stock and stuff. But this thing is also going to be a majority of cars as well, which is hilarious because you look at it and go, oh, that's pretty weird looking. That's a funky looking car. But no, bro, you're probably going to get smoked by it depending on what Lambo you're driving, like an M2 or some of the Beamers. This car is most likely going to walk it. In fact, I did have a few different times I was drag racing a Trackhawk. Now, I do know it probably depends on your build, but I was pretty much decimating all of them when I was doing that, which was hilarious because you would look at a car like this and go, ha! Yeah, okay, bro. Cool, cute car you got there, buddy. And then, boom, you get pretty much obliterated. Kind of funny. Let me, right now, using the launch control again, guys, hitting the gas. Just look at this. This is so it's so funny, dude. I never thought I'd be able to see builds like this. When I was going on Instagram and scrolling and stuff, I was like, okay, well, let me search for some builds because I do know people put a lot of time into this. I'd like to see what they do. And maybe I can create some videos on this, shouting them out and stuff like that and getting their tunes out there more. But also just highlighting some of the funniest and best builds here in the community. I feel like it's pretty dope. And I do want to know what y'all think about that. Again, put the codes in the comments. Leave your thoughts and all that stuff. I am curious. But besides that, though, This car really is going to be hilarious, man. I really cannot believe it. But with this car being said, though, I do know a lot of people are probably going to have other vehicle suggestions. I can't wait to see what they are. Some other builds on some funny cars you can definitely mess with. What was that other car, man? Is it the AutoZam? I've heard some things about this car. Do let me know in the comments. I also think some of the builds on that are hilarious. I don't know if it's going to be like super good, in fact, or like crazy, but I have seen like a 300 mile per hour build or something. I'm like, that's pretty insane. But it's also going to add on another factor of why I really do love Forza, man. Like, it just makes the game so dang entertaining. Like, you really can mess around with different cards, add some of the craziest builds ever, which I am going to have a video on the upgrading system and tuning system in Forza pretty much separated, because they really are going to be a lot different with, like, the upgrades and stuff like that. Or also the way the tuning design is in this game, man. Now, if you do want to race this car, I don't know if it's the best decision. Funny part is, it also handles decently well for being a tiny Nissan. One thing I did not realize, though, is when I first saw this vehicle in the game, and yeah, sliding right off the road, nice. One thing I gotta admit, though, is when I first saw this car and I did see that video clip, I'm like, nah, that can't be real, bro. I then ended up going, okay, well, maybe he has a share code for it. He did. I tried it, and I started laughing. There is just no way this car is going to be that funny, man. Like, if you see a weird-looking car show up to a drag strip like this one, look, the whole front end lifts up, bro. Look at that. Like, look, it's like hopping almost. Like, what in the world, man? It's literally hopping. I'm literally got freaking hydraulics in the back of it. Look, what in the world? Look. It reminds me of when I was driving the cars in GTA with the hydraulics, how you can, like, bounce the back end when you're racing. That's what it reminds me of. Literally same thing. Now, yes, it is going to have the, like, you know, really annoying anti-lag on it. But you know what? For a build like this, bro, you gotta have it on there. I mean, come on, look at this card. Like, if you see something like this pull up, you're like, oh, that's cool, man. And then you hear, like, the anti-lag and the way the car sounds, and you realize you might be kind of cooked. But it really does make me laugh, though, how you can do stuff like this in Forza. This is another reason why I love this game. And the most hilarious part is there is literally 800 something cars in the game. Obviously, it's like 899, apparently over 900 with some of the rare ones. But you could do some weird experimental builds with so many different cars and stuff like that, which I will touch on that in another video. But it really is incredible, man. Like, if you guys are looking for some funny builds, try this one out. I am going to show you guys the share code and stuff, which I did have on the screen earlier. And definitely check out the build on this car. This guy did a really great job on this. It's so dang funny because you're most likely going to pull up to the drag strip and probably make a lot of people question exactly what they are driving, or dang, is my car that slow, man? Like, it really does seem that way. But again, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. And I also want to mention once again, guys, do let me know some of the funniest share code in the comments below, whether the car is going to bunny hop or make some cars super quick or really funny to race. I am curious, and I would like to start doing videos on this, showcasing them, even helping those people get like more likes on their builds and stuff like that, which I think is awesome, because some of these really need to be highlighted even more. But if you guys can get your hand on the Nissan Tsuru, I would definitely recommend it. Yes, this car is rare, but I would say with some patience in the auction house, you will be able to get yourself one. I've actually seen a good amount of them. The only issue is they're probably not going to be cheap.